Thank you. All right, this is 10:55. I'm gonna share the announcement about Britzone. Here we go. Hi, fellow Britzoners. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday class, Britzone Fun Day Class. Britzone has 3 values, yeah. The first one is we are free and open platform. You don't need to pay a single rupiah at all to join us, and we are open for everyone, no matter the background, no matter the age, no matter the education. And then we provide English education empowered by our awesome conductors and committees that work voluntarily. Yeah, they work without any payment at all. And then we have 3 regular classes in a week. The first is on Tuesday. It's called Britzone Speaking Academy, or BSA. Starts at 7 p.m. Yeah, focuses on public speaking, speech, debate, interview, and so on. The second one is Britzone Betterment Series, aka BBS, on Wednesday. Starts at 7 p.m. too. Touches 4 skills in English: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The last one, but not least, Britzone Fun Day, which is today, starts at 11 a.m., brings various topics for weekly discussions. And don't forget to follow our social medias. We have Instagram, the most updated one. And then the Clubhouse. You can join this Clubhouse, and you can chatting with us within this platform with our committee, our participants, and even our ex-conductors. We also have Facebook. And then right now we are being live on our YouTube channel, Britzone English Community. And we are still constructing our website, britzone.id. Nah, because we are open platform and free, so we still need your support to sustain us, to make us keep running by buying our merchandises in Busy Merch. We have t-shirt and face mask, and also Busy Mart, but Busy Mart is only operating on offline class. In this pandemic, Busy Mart does not operate. Now, for the further information, you can follow our Instagram at Britzone Merch, or call this number or WhatsApp number. Now, we also have Daniyanto. And then our home actually is in Perpustakaan Kemendikbud, Library of Education and Culture Ministry in Sudirman. But during this pandemic, we serve everything online. This is our home. If the pandemic is over, hopefully we can get back there. And then we are also supported by Atmago, a social network app in Indonesia that helps people to share neighborhood issues with the campaign Warga Bantu Warga. Now, for further information about Atmago, I will share the video related to Atmago. Wait a minute.
Apa itu Atmago?
Sorry. I have two videos ya.
Apa itu Atmago? Atmago adalah sebuah media sosial berbasis masyarakat dengan semboyan warga bantu warga. Atmago mengajak warga masyarakat untuk saling berbagi informasi di sekitarnya secara online. Informasi dapat berupa berita, lowongan kerja, pengaduan, dan pengumuman kegiatan warga yang semuanya bersifat lokal. Atmago mengajak kita untuk menjadi jurnalis warga yang mampu mengabarkan keadaan sekitar kita sendiri yang mungkin luput dari pemberitaan media besar. Ayo beratmago dan tunjukkan siapa dirimu.
Alright, and then I have another one. Wait a minute.
Indonesia memiliki lebih dari 3.000 komunitas yang berpengaruh di bidangnya. Karenanya, Atmago menghadirkan ruang komunitas Atmago, ubah diskusi menjadi aksi. Atmago menawarkan berbagai fasilitas. Kamu dapat menampilkan aksi-aksi komunitas kamu, merekrut relawan baru, mendokumentasikan semua kegiatan komunitas kamu, memonitor dan menganalisis segala bentuk perkembangan dalam angka dan data. Jadi tunggu apa lagi? Mari bergabung bersama ruang komunitas Atmago. Atmago.com, warga bantu warga.
This is our further information about Atmago ya. Let's get back to our announcement. Nah, we have traditions ya, by taking pictures at the end of this class. So don't leave first. Take a picture with us, and your picture will be posted in our Instagram account. And don't forget to leave some feedback by this QR code and this link, because your feedback does really matter to us. And then we also have a festival ya, Britzone Festival. Let me share the video.
Hello Britzoners, welcome to Busy News. How are you today? I hope you have a great day. Britzone English Community is running Britzone Festival 2021. And now we are connected with our reporter Desrina Roswanti that will interview President of Britzone 2021. Hello Desrina.
Thank you, Icha. And I'm Desrina reporting from South Jakarta with the President of Britzone 2021, Mr. Tra. Mr. Tra, how are you today?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm great too. So Britzone community holding a Britzone Festival 2021. What is Britzone Festival, Mr. Tra?
Britzone Festival is the event to celebrate the 18th anniversary of Britzone English community.
So what are the content of this event?
There are several competitions such as writing, storytelling, and also singing competition. And all the competitions are free and everyone can join in the competition.
And how to participate in this event?
You can check out on our Instagram at Britzone ID, and you can click the link bit.ly/busyfestival registration. Join us now.
So that's all from me and Mr. Tra. So back to you, Icha.
Thank you, Destina, for reporting. And that's all from the Busy News today. See you on the next Busy News.
All right. These are our video from Britzone Festival, yeah. And then, yeah, thank you for your attention for our several announcements, yeah. Okay, without further ado, I want to greet our lovely participants. Hi, Bia.
Hello, Kak. Yes.
Do you know what is the topic for today's class?
I think it's about Bitcoin, how the future.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe what do you know about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, I think money currency.
Money currency.
Currency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite close. Yeah, but actually the Bitcoin is cryptocurrency. Yeah. And by joining this class, hopefully you will get a lot of knowledge about Bitcoin.
Okay, thank you, Kak.
Thank you, Bia.
Yes.
And then I want to greet Diki Anggit. Hi, Diki Anggit. Hello, are you there? Okay, maybe he's away from keyboard. All right, without waiting any longer, let me call our awesome conductor. Yeah, he is quite expert about Bitcoin, yeah? Here we come, Mr. Endy Daniyanto. Give it up, guys, by applause, virtual applause.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes. Do you mind to open your camera, Mr. Endy?
My lighting is not so good, so
It's okay. At least we can see your face.
you can see my face.
Because yeah, you are like Duta Sila on 7, right?
That is like the 100th time someone said that to me. Okay.
All right. You can share screen your material.
Okay.
Okay.
Let
Wait.
me. How do
Yeah.
I set this up?
I set this. I set first, right? Nah. Okay. You can do it right now.
Should share screen, right?
Yeah. Share screen. Yeah. Share screen.
Share. And
Nah. All right. Good.
wait. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes. It's
Okay.
clear enough.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, Mr. Endy.
My name is Endy, and today I will try to share some information about Bitcoin. As a Britzoner, I've been in Britzone since 2013, and I was part of the committee in 2015, I think, sometime around that time. So it's nice to come back here and share a little bit about what I've learned within the past few years about Bitcoin. So Pia mentioned that Bitcoin is about money or currency, right? And today we're going to take a look if Bitcoin can be our future money. So what we will discuss today is I hope everyone is having a good day today. So this material might be a little bit serious for Saturday, but I'm going to try and keep it informative and entertaining. So what we're going to discuss is, why is Bitcoin important? Why should we get to know it? Why should we try to understand it? And what is it? What is Bitcoin really? Because I think a lot of people have heard about it, but not really understand it, not really know about it. And how does it work? How does Bitcoin work as money? How can we use it in our daily lives? And what is the future of Bitcoin, especially in our country, in Indonesia? And also, at some points in this presentation, there's going to be some rewards, so some free money, some free crypto, right, for the active participants. So stay tuned. Okay, so who am
Sorry, do you
I?
mind to slideshow, Mr. Endy? Slideshow.
Slideshow?
Yeah. Yeah, for full screen mode.
Oh, hold on. My screen sharing is paused. I wonder why.
Yeah. F5. You can slideshow from the PPT. PPT, yeah.
Can you see the full screen?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
All right. So who am I? I once saw Bitcoin when the price was about 5 million Indonesian rupiah, which is around 380 US dollars. But at the time, I already knew about it, but I didn't decide to buy it or invest in it until the price eventually reached about 50 million Indonesian rupiah, or around $2,800. So I was a bit late, you could say, but over time, it turns out I was early, as the price today is around $45,000, or around 600 million Indonesian rupiah. I'm currently part-time writer at an Indonesian crypto media, and also part-time working for a cryptocurrency exchange based in Singapore. I have some sort of a blog about crypto, which is in Indonesian language. It is carireceh.com, and still learning about cryptocurrency, especially the new sectors, which is decentralized finance and non-fungible tokens. Those are very technical terms, and I'm pretty sure no one here has ever heard of it, especially if this is your first time listening about Bitcoin. But maybe I've been around in this sector since 2017, so it's about 4 years now, learning about it and finding some very, very interesting things about Bitcoin and other things within the cryptocurrency industry. So why Bitcoin? Why is it important for us to understand about Bitcoin? First, the most important function of it is for censorship-resistant money. Now, most of us, we don't really talk about money. Money isn't taught in schools. Our parents usually don't teach us about money. Sometimes it's a taboo subject to talk about money in our family, right? If we want to ask questions about money to our parents, they usually give a short answer or try to stop the conversation. So what is censorship resistant money, and why is it important? Basically, nowadays, if you keep your money in a bank, you don't really have control over it. And what I mean by that is, if you go to an ATM and you want to withdraw your money, you can only withdraw it up to a certain amount, right? Maybe it's 1.5 million rupiah, or 3 million, or 5 million maximum in a day. And if you want to do transfers, there's also a limit to how much you can transfer. There are some extreme cases where if a country, or if you're an individual that is in certain lists and you can access your money, and even in some countries, the citizens can't access their whole savings account. But with Bitcoin, you can basically access it anytime, anywhere, any place. You can send it to whoever you want, whenever you want, however you want. You can send all of it, you can send a little bit of it, no one can stop you. So this is very important in some cases that I will share in the further slides. The second point is that over time, Bitcoin that began as we could call it a digital currency. Over time, due to the properties of Bitcoin, it became digital gold, which is what some people are calling it now. Now, if you know gold, maybe I could ask a question is, what is the function of gold? If maybe one of the participants can try and answer. Oh, wait, no, not right. Or no? Okay, so gold has a function to, usually it's to protect our wealth, right? It's called wealth preservation. Usually people buy and save gold in order to keep their wealth. But Bitcoin being digital, so it's called as digital gold, it has similar properties like gold, which means it has a fairly limited supply, and it's also quite difficult to get. And in terms of investing, that's why Bitcoin becomes digital gold, because it has some protective properties, also known as the safe haven asset, if you ever heard about it. And the third point, so other than being a censorship resistant money and being digital gold that can protect your wealth, it is also a hedge or protection against fiat currency inflation. Now, maybe you've never heard what is fiat currency. Fiat currency is basically the money that we use today. It's the paper money. It's the money in your wallet. It's the money in your bank account. That is called fiat currency because it is based on trust to the government. Back in the old days, we used to use gold. After that, we used to use paper money, which is backed by gold, which means that if we go to the bank, we can give our money and we can receive gold in return. But today, that doesn't apply. If any of you work in a bank here, you know that our money can't be converted to gold anymore at a bank. Over time, the fiat currency experiences inflation and a reduction in purchasing power, which means that the price of things today is more expensive than they were yesterday, than they were last year, than they were 10 years ago. So one of the functions of Bitcoin is to protect or become a hedge, as they say, against the reduction of our purchasing power. Okay, so that's why Bitcoin is important to understand. Now, further about inflation is, if you guys, maybe you've heard of it, but usually people don't really understand what inflation means. Of course, in economical terms, it's quite a complex subject to talk about. But in practical terms, what inflation means for us, the impact of it for ourselves is that basically we can buy less things with the same amount of money. So as this meme shows, in a shopping basket, $20 in 1929 can buy you a lot of things, a full basket of groceries. In 1960, it can buy you half a basket of groceries. And in 2014, maybe you can only buy 1 or 2 items with $20 with the same amount of money. So in about 100 years, the purchasing power has reduced drastically. Now, on the other side, we have deflation, which basically means that the purchasing power of our money increases. So as the picture shows, 1 Bitcoin in 2012 buys you 1 or 2 items. In 2013, it buys you half a basket of items. And in 2014, it can buy you a lot. And today, just 1 Bitcoin can buy you a nice car, probably. A nice car, or maybe even a house, depending on the location. So if we switch our fiat currency to Bitcoin, one of the purposes is to protect against that inflation. So So this is the graphic of the price of Bitcoin. Again, I want to emphasize that the primary purpose of Bitcoin is for censorship-resistant money, which means that we have control over our money, right? The banks have control over our money today, which means they can actually do whatever they want with it. But most of the time, they don't. So it's still safe to keep your money in a bank relatively. But in certain times, you want to have full access and control towards your money. And because of the digital gold aspect of Bitcoin, the price of one Bitcoin is continually rising, as you can see in this graphic, which in 2015, it was roughly maybe around $1,000, because it's so flat, you can't even see how much it was. Until in late 2017, it reached 20,000. And I entered around August of 2017. So I experienced the rocketing price, like a rocket. The price went up really high. And then after that, it went down for a few years. So if you look at the graph, after it hit 20,000, it went down to almost 3,000. And then it went up slowly, and then went down again, and then it went up really fast. And today it's around 45,000. Why do we discuss about the price of Bitcoin? Because it's one of the most interesting aspects and one of the things about the properties about Bitcoin that draws the attention of a lot of people and decide to enter the cryptocurrency space, whether as an investor, as a trader, or as a developer. All right, so more about censorship resistance. Fortunately, in Indonesia, for most of us, we don't currently need censorship-resistant money most of the time. Perhaps for some certain figures involved in politics, you might need censorship-resistant money when the government is trying to limit access towards your bank account. So, but for most of us, we're normal everyday citizens, so we don't really need censorship-resistant money. However, that is not the case in some countries such as Greece, Venezuela, Iran, Turkey, and Nigeria. Greece, in the past, when they had an economic meltdown, even if you had $100,000 in your bank account, you couldn't access it. You could only access, if I'm not mistaken, about $20 a day. You can only withdraw your money up to $20 a day. I don't know if you can survive with that amount of money. In Venezuela, they have very high inflation. If you've ever heard the news or the stories, basically Venezuelan money, the bolivar, is almost worthless. And if you want to buy some bread, you would need a whole bucket of paper money just because it's so worthless, right? Imagine if you wanted to buy some bread, you would need 1 billion rupiah. You would have to carry a lot of paper money around. That's the condition in Venezuela. In Iran, they are under economic sanction from the United States, so Iran as a country can't freely conduct trade with other countries because America is bullying them into following their rules. So fortunately, Iran is also adopting Bitcoin as part of their national budget, so they can buy and spend Bitcoin and conduct trade with other countries. And also in Turkey and Nigeria, some similar cases are happening. So fortunately, we don't live in those countries right now, but we don't know if in the future some similar circumstance might appear in this country. Hopefully not, because that would be really, really bad. But in case it happens, there is a solution that we can obtain. So this is one of the news articles about Venezuela. Venezuela has been in an economic meltdown or economic crisis for quite some time. And funny enough, the president at the time released their own cryptocurrency, their own version of Bitcoin, so to say, called the Petro, to try and save the country from economic meltdown. Of course, unfortunately, that's not how it works. So the petrol was, we can say that it was a failure. Nobody was interested other than the government. And of course, if it's controlled by the government, then if the people have already lost trust towards the government, then obviously it doesn't work like that. But this is one of the importance of Bitcoin. It is rather dark or sinister to talk about it, but unfortunately it's happening in some parts of the world. And as they say, Bitcoin is a potential solution to fix problems like these. And it is becoming a solution for the Venezuelan people, for the Iranian people, for the Greece people. One of the most famous supporters of Bitcoin is actually from Greece because he understands how important it is. Right. So again, why Bitcoin? In the future, one Bitcoin could rise up to $10 million. So if you have one Bitcoin today, sometime in the future, or perhaps your children in the future.
So how many rupiah in Bitcoin for $10 million?
That's about 140 billion Indonesian rupiah. So you can probably buy a pretty nice house or pretty nice car, or take your family to a nice vacation. Hal Finney is the second person to interact with Bitcoin. The first person is the creator, which I will discuss about further down the slide. But Hal Finney made this prediction in 2009, which is roughly not long after Bitcoin was discovered or created. Of course, it means that if the entire global economic system or monetary system use Bitcoin, then yes, of course, Bitcoin can reach $10 million, but that is probably a long time away. And there is a lot of obstacles in the way, right? Because fiat currency, the governments, they don't want to let go of the control over our money. So it's going to be probably not within this decade. All right. Now, for the first part, we're going to do some short games or exercises. So for everyone here, and I'm going to ask each and every one of you, name one thing that is more expensive today than it was when you were a child. Okay, think about it. What is one thing today that is more expensive today than when you were a child? Let's try to ask the participants. Is Beverly here? Beverly?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Okay, name one thing that is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago or something.
All right, I try to remember. Actually, everything's about property, such as land, housing, flats, and so on, and also devices, such as television.
Basically everything, right? Land,
Yeah.
yes, land. Land is obviously more expensive today than it was a year ago, or even 10 years ago, because most of the time the price of property continually rises. Although in some years it does decrease, but due to the scarcity, because the supply is limited and there are more and more people, then the price. So naturally, actually, regarding land or property, it does naturally increase over time. Perhaps we can ask Sari.
Yes, myself. Yeah.
Other than land, what is one thing that is more expensive today?
Yeah. In my opinion, it's kind of house, such a property, or such a school fee.
School fees, okay.
Yeah, it's more expensive than when I was kid.
Okay, so school fees. If we talk about property, we can understand that naturally the price rises because land is limited and there are more people, so it makes sense. But for school fees, why should it rise, right? In terms of technology, we have better technology. Maybe we don't need as much paper books. Sometimes we don't need physical buildings. We can do online classes. So why are school fees increasing? Why is it more expensive today than it was yesterday? I don't think it has any natural reason to get expensive over time other than inflation, of course. The next one would be Mr. Coco. Do you have a mic? Hello?
Yeah. So is it the same questions? What's
Yes, same question. What is one thing more expensive today?
I think I would say cell phone. Like you can 25 million worth of cell phone right now. Meanwhile, like 10 or 20 years ago, maybe only a million or 500,000 cell phone.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Cell phones is interesting because it's a technological device. So measuring inflation for technological devices is not as simple as like school fees or land, because for the same amount of money, you actually get sometimes a better piece of technology, right? So if 10 years ago, you spent maybe 3 million rupiah for a cell phone, and today you bought a cell phone that has the same price, it's usually has a better technology. It's higher resolution screen, better camera, more capacity in the computer, and other things, right? Who else should I ask? Maybe Miss Hani Imania, are you there with your microphone?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same question or?
The same question. Name one thing today that is more expensive than it was when you were a child.
It's so expensive when I was a child. Is it true?
Name one thing that is more expensive today than it was.
Oh, what? Well, I don't know, but maybe I don't know. Indomie is more expensive, no?
Obviously, Indomie.
I don't remember well.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Everyone here will say yes. Indomie is more expensive today than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, maybe but I remember, but I buy snacks when I was a child, and then in the future, it's so expensive like that, maybe.
Yep. Okay, thank you. So Indomie, food is more expensive today than it was yesterday. I'm going to look at the chat now. There's some answers from people here. Candy, right? Candy is obviously candy is more expensive today. When I was a child, candy was 50 rupiah maybe, 50 perak, 25 rupiah. I guess I'm revealing my age, but candy today is like maybe 500 rupiah. And Indomie, okay, someone already answered Indomie. Nasi uduk, of course, food. Today, nasi uduk, if you buy it on the street, it's probably 10,000, maybe 15,000, 20,000. Even more if you're in office building areas. But I guess in some areas you can maybe still get it for under 20,000. I remember when I was a child, I could buy sotomi from my school, which is only 500 rupiah. And nowadays, I don't think you can buy anything with 500 rupiah. Indomie, gorengan, of course, gorengan, our favorite food. Gorengan today is more expensive. Yep, I think everything is more expensive, but the value may be not right. The value may be the same, right? Some Indomie 10 years ago and Indomie today is almost the same, but the price is drastically different. Bus fees, right? Bus fees. Ongkos Metro Mini, right? Of course. Vehicles, cars. So basically, everything is more expensive today than it was yesterday, than it was when we were younger. Hold on. How do I get back to sharing my screen? Wait a minute. Wait. Where's the... I am having Oh, hold on. Share screen. Okay. Share. Maybe we're over here. Can you see? Okay, you can see my screen, right? Thank you for the interaction, everyone. So basically, again, if we did the reverse exercise, name one thing that is more cheaper, that is cheaper today than it was when we were a child, we would probably be confused. But what is cheaper today? That explains, that is a demonstration of how inflation occurs, which means the same amount of money can buy less and less things every year. So if the purchasing power of our money decreases, but the amount of money that we make stays relatively the same, it means we're kind of getting poorer by the year, right? If we make minimum wage last year and we make minimum wage today, which is UMR, about, I think it's about 4 million rupiah in Jakarta. If we make 4 million every month last year and we make 4 million every month this year, but the cost of things are more expensive, then we're actually getting less and less money, right? We're becoming poorer in a way. So that is why Bitcoin is important, because one of the functions, because it's money similar to gold. So it's designed to be able to have non-inflation properties. But so what is Bitcoin per definition? So actually, I've been wanting to share about this topic to Britzone for several years, but I haven't discovered a way to present the material without potentially being boring when we discuss the technical aspects about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, by definition, is called electronic peer-to-peer cash. What does that mean? Electronic, it means that it uses digital devices like a computer or your cell phone. Peer-to-peer means that it's from one person to another person without a third person in the way, without any intermediaries, without a central bank or the government or anybody else involved in the transaction. So I can send money to anyone here and you can accept it and nobody else will know, right? That's what peer-to-peer means. And cash, of course, it means that we can use it as everyday money. The creator of Bitcoin is actually, nobody knows who that person is. Although the name is Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know that if it's a man, we don't know if it's a woman, because this is only a pseudonym or a disguised name, right? It's a fake name that someone uses to protect their real identity. But Satoshi Nakamoto appeared in 2008, and this person, whether a man or a woman or a group of people, they released some code, which is Bitcoin, and then they released the white paper, which explains how that code works. And if anybody wants to read it, it's on that website, which is bitcoin.org /bitcoin.pdf. There's also a Bahasa Indonesia version of it that was translated by a friend of mine, actually. So you guys can read it, although I should warn you, it's very, very technical. But for something that's technical, it's actually relatively easy to understand. Since then, Bitcoin is one from many, many what is called as cryptocurrencies. So when a person says cryptocurrency, it doesn't only mean Bitcoin. There are other cryptocurrencies also that I will mention in the further slides. Bitcoin also is based on blockchain technology. Perhaps some of you have heard about blockchain. It's our president, Mr. Joko Widodo. He mentioned about the Industrial Revolution 4.0, which involves blockchain technology, involves big data, it involves artificial intelligence, and some things else that I don't remember. It's also Internet of Things, virtual reality, augmented reality, and a lot of new technology. And blockchain is one of them. Basically, what this is it's the foundation of how we can use Bitcoin. It runs on blockchain technology, which is a combination of cryptography, which is from mathematics, computer science, and economics, or in blockchain it's called tokenomics. So combining these three sciences, then it gave birth to blockchain. I should note that Bitcoin is actually not the first attempt at making a digital peer-to-peer money. There have been other attempts before, but unfortunately they didn't succeed. And it was Bitcoin that eventually succeeded. Right, so how does a blockchain work? It might be a bit difficult to understand at first and probably technical, but basically we can imagine a blockchain like a book. We have a book, and inside that book, we keep record of our transactions. So in the first page of the book, we have the first transaction, we have the second transaction, and we have third transaction. So if I buy Indomie, I write it here. And if I buy some property, I write it here. And if somebody gives me money, I write it here. And once that page is full, we give it a digital signature at the bottom. Now, this digital signature is the most important part because this is how we know that the information in the book is real. It is not fake. Nobody has changed it. Nobody has tampered with it. And that digital signature will carry it over to the next page. And then the next page, we can write down our other transactions, right? We buy more Indomie, we buy some nasi uduk, we buy some cars, we pay some bus fees. And then on that page is another digital signature. Now, what's important is that the digital signature on the second page contains the digital signature from the first page. So that's what the chain means in blockchain. The chain of digital signatures is carried over from one page to one page, or in the case of blockchain, from one block to the next block. So if there's any differences in the blockchain, anybody can figure it out. So if I have a record of the blockchain and I have a digital signature and you have a record of the blockchain, but it's a different digital signature, then one of us has a fake version. Unfortunately, in the case of Bitcoin, there are a lot of people. There are tens of thousands, I think more than 100,000 of people right now around the world. They keep the record of the blockchain. So if one person says they have a different version, there are hundreds of thousands of other people that can verify, no, your version is fake because this version is what everybody else agrees on. So up until now, nobody has been able to make the fake version of the Bitcoin blockchain, so to speak. On the other hand, if we go to a bank and I want to print out my bank account, suddenly there's no money in my bank account, right? Like, where did my money go? It's gone. And the bank will say, oh no, it's not our fault. This transaction happened some days ago. And then we say, but I never did that transaction. So somebody might be able to manipulate the records within the bank or wherever we keep our money, but we can't prove it, right? So that's a danger of what is called a centralized system, like a bank. Is that although it's easy and convenient to use, sometimes cases where our money disappears or we can't access our money do happen. In the case of a blockchain, the good side is that we have full control over our transaction records, but the downside or the negative aspect is that we have to be completely responsible for it. Okay, so the Bitcoin blockchain, it was released in 2000 and early 2009, maybe late 2008. Right now, it is the most secure network in the world. It has never been hacked. Can it be hacked? Perhaps. There is a cost to hacking it, which is, I believe it's something tens of millions of dollars per minute. If you have that much money, you can probably hack the Bitcoin blockchain. But up until now, nobody has had enough motivation to hack it because there's no profit to be made if you want to hack the Bitcoin blockchain. So as the Bitcoin blockchain is used over time, the longer it survives, then the longer it will survive, right? So if it has survived for 10 years, then it is more likely to survive the next 50 years. If it has survived for 50 years, then it is more likely to survive the next 500 years, if humans are still around by then. That's called the Lindy effect, which means the more something survives, then the longer it can survive. And that's because the Bitcoin blockchain uses what is called the proof of work consensus mechanism, which is the technical aspect of how do we keep the blockchain secure, is by doing what is called proof of work, which is basically where participants known as miners, they do mining, they spend electricity to do this, to write down the transactions and then write the digital signature and then move it over to the next page and then keep those transactions and then the next digital signature and so on. And that happens in a very, very fast pace because there are tens of thousands of transactions happening every minute or every hour around the world. So there are a lot of miners that spend their electrical energy in the form of computers that do calculations in order to write down those transactions. Now, yeah, okay, so this is, first talking about it is probably confusing for most people, but this is what a mining facility looks like. So basically, okay, this is not a Bitcoin mining facility. This is an Ethereum mining facility. Ethereum is another form of cryptocurrency that has its own blockchain separate from Bitcoin. But it is probably the second most famous, most largest and most secure next to Bitcoin. But this is a mining facility where people use CPUs or GPUs, graphical processing units. If you have a computer, you have a GPU. So technically, you can mine cryptocurrency, but of course, it requires a very, very high amount of energy, electricity. So for most people, it's not profitable. You need some special equipment in order to mine specific cryptocurrencies. And there are a lot of mining facilities around the world. This is one in Indonesia. It's owned by one of the local cryptocurrency exchanges. They also have a mining facility. So that's what it looks like. And of course, this room is actually very, very hot. It's like being inside a sauna, right? As you can see on the ceiling, there's a lot of fans in order to move the air out of the room, because if there's no ventilation, then the computers can melt, the GPUs can melt, and they'll be broken within a few minutes or hours of operating. Okay, so that was a technical side. For a short break, I want to give away some free money. To be precise, I want to share some Dogecoin, which is a form of crypto, for those of you who can answer some questions about what we just recently discussed. So I want to ask, hold on, let me change and see if I can enter the chat. Stop sharing. Okay, in the chat, I'm going to ask a question, and for the first person who can answer it in the chat, I will give you some free money after this session is over. Okay, are you guys ready? Question number one. Yeah. Question number one. Who is the creator of Bitcoin? First person to answer. Type on the chat. Type on the chat, because if you raise your hand, I can't see all of you at the same time. Type in the chat. Who is the creator? Full name, please.
Can I answer it?
Full name.
Full name.
Not just the first name, not just the last name. Full name. Okay, we have a right answer, but I don't know.
Sakamoto.
I recently Googled it.
Yes.
Okay, the answer is Satoshi Nakamoto, but the person's name I don't know. The chat. Okay.
Sakamoto is a math course.
Oh, yeah.
Satoshi
Sakamoto.
Sakamoto.
I think
Nakamoto.
let me Google first.
Let me Google.
Let me do.
Okay. Well, we have a correct answer. So, but his name doesn't appear here. Hold on. Hati. Your mic. Hold on. Right. Okay, so for this someone whose name is ... Okay, I will send you some free money later. Second question. Okay, you guys ready? Second question is, what is the definition of Bitcoin? Do you guys remember? Remember? It was in a slide a few moments ago. What is the definition of Bitcoin? This might be a little bit difficult. No, to Ferry, I wrote down the definition on the slide. What is Bitcoin? The clue is something something cash. I wonder if anyone actually remembered the definition. If there's no answers, I will change the question. Not yet, no correct answers yet. It's electronic money is partially correct. Peer-to-peer money cash is partially correct. It's not completely correct. But you can actually already comprise the answer from people's answers in the chat. Nobody is almost. Oh wait, that's almost correct. I could say. For the MC, that's a very good definition, but not what I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to give the answer to Bia, peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So it's actually electronic peer-to-peer cash, but you got the words correctly, although not in the correct arrangement order, in the right order. Okay, so to Bia, so I will send you some free money later. For the third question, blockchain technology consists of 3 sciences. What are they? I wonder if anyone can still remember. Ferry, you mean cryptography? Well, that's one. Computer, what's the third one? Blockchain? The question is, blockchain technology consists of 3 sciences, we could say, which is 1, 2, and 3. So Ferry almost got it, but not correct completely. It's not technology. Okay, maybe someone else can know. Consists of 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I think Ferry actually got it. Congratulations to Ferry. So blockchain technology consists of 3, we can say it's built based on 3 technologies, which is mathematics or cryptography, right? And then computer science and also economics. That's what makes it a bit difficult to understand at first, because there's a lot of knowledge involved. Okay, so that was for the quiz. Okay, just making sure you can see my screen. thank you for participating. I'll make sure to send the Dogecoin to the people who answered correctly. But don't worry, there are more chances to get some free money at the end of this session. So we talked about why Bitcoin is important, mostly because for censorship-resistant money, which means we have full control over our money. And we talked about what it is. It's basically electronic peer-to-peer cash using blockchain technology, which is the most secure network in the world. If you want to have money, of course, it has to be really, really secure, right? In some cases, in some countries, the money isn't secure and it loses the value very easily. So how does it work in our daily lives? So how do we use Bitcoin? So in terms of peer-to-peer, meaning that it's from one person to another person, I can send it to you, you can send it to me. We can use a web wallet, which is, if you have Bitcoin, you can store it in a wallet, it's called. There are many web wallets. There's the official Bitcoin wallet. There are other wallets made by third parties. There are also wallets on your phone. Some local exchanges in Indonesia, they also have applications on their phone, and you can keep your Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies there. And also there are hardware wallets. So maybe it's quite similar to how GoPay or OFO or any other digital money works. Is you use your application on your phone, and you can use it to send money to other people using their address. A hardware wallet is similar to a USB device that keeps your cryptocurrency secure using that device. And there are also cryptocurrency exchanges where you can keep your money. That would be like similar to keeping your money sort of in a bank. If you keep your Bitcoin in a cryptocurrency exchange, it means that they have control over it. You don't have control over it, but they give you access to access your money, right? Like in a bank, the bank has control over your money, but we have access towards it. Those are how we can keep our Bitcoin and crypto. And this is an example, a picture of a hardware wallet. Before that, I should mention that if you keep your Bitcoin in a web wallet, in a phone or hardware wallet, if you lose your phone, you don't lose your Bitcoin, right? If you lose your laptop, you don't lose your Bitcoin. If you lose your hardware wallet, you do not lose your Bitcoin. The most important thing is actually what is called the private key. The private key is a set of words that you use to access your Bitcoin. So if you lose your phone, you could buy a new phone. As long as you remember your private key, you can access it again using your new phone, right? However, if you lose your private key, if you forget it, then you lose your Bitcoin. So that's why that's one of the downsides, in my opinion, of Bitcoin, is that we have to be fully responsible. So if we are forgetful, or if we don't keep don't guard it properly, it has happened in some cases that people simply forget their private key, so they no longer have access towards their Bitcoin. And with the hardware wallet, this is the most secure option. Keep your Bitcoin, because if you keep it in a web wallet, it can be hacked. If you keep it in your phone, it can be hacked. If you keep it in a hardware wallet, it's very difficult to hack it because the device is separate from your computer. It's separate from your phone. So as we know, there are a lot of viruses. There are a lot of malware. There are a lot of what is known as a phishing attempt, which is basically like you accept an email saying that you need to change some information in your account, and then you click a link in that email, and it takes you to a fake website, and you enter your username and password, and the fake website knows your password, and then they can access your account in the real site. So that's a phishing attempt. And there are many, many, many cases of this already happening around the world. Lots and lots of people have been victims of hacks and malware and phishing attempts. So if you keep a large amount of your wealth in cryptocurrency, then it's highly advisable to use what is known as a hardware wallet. And maybe it's a bit expensive, like 1 million rupiah, I think, for this treasure. But if you plan to keep your money and you want control over it, then I think it could be a very, very good practice. Of course, again, if you forget your private key, it means you lose your Bitcoin also. So you also have to guard your private keys. But using the web wallets, the phone wallets, any other wallet, and this hardware wallet, you can do your transactions whenever you want, wherever you want. There's nobody to control when and where. Right, so earlier before I mentioned about Ethereum. So other than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is an open source technology, it means that anyone can actually build on top of Bitcoin or make their own version of Bitcoin. These are known as altcoins or alternative coins. Alternative coins, there are several categories. We can say there are cryptocurrencies, which basically also act like money, but they have their own blockchain. They have their own technology. They have their own set of miners who provide security and so on. Some of them is Litecoin, Monero, and Dash. Maybe you've heard of it, probably not. And there are thousands of cryptocurrencies in the market. Why do they exist? Well, for example, Bitcoin is only capable of doing 7 transactions per second. Only 7. So if there are 10,000 people around the world using Bitcoin, so you can imagine that it takes some minutes for your transaction to be confirmed. However, although Bitcoin is relatively slow in a way, it is much, much faster than our traditional global money system right now. Of course, if you send your GoPay from my account to your account, it will arrive within seconds. But that is only the numbers, right? The actual money probably doesn't change because it's within one company. What I mean by that is Bitcoin is actually not comparable to instant payments like GoPay. It's more comparable to international banks. So if international banks want to settle their transactions, it actually takes them several days. For example, if you want to send some money to someone in America, some actual cash, it will take several days for them to receive it, right? But with Bitcoin, they can receive it within 10 minutes. However, for some people, this is not fast enough. So therefore, they make their own version of Bitcoin, such as Litecoin. Litecoin is faster than Bitcoin. It's about 4 times as fast. So if you need to send money faster, you can use Litecoin. And today, there are other cryptocurrencies that are much, 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 much more faster than Litecoin. So if I send you, it almost instantaneously arrives in your wallet, like almost that very instant, such as the one I mentioned here, which is Solana. It's a newer cryptocurrency. It's very, very fast. However, in terms of security, it's not as secure as Bitcoin, which means that perhaps some people can still hack into the network. Some people can still manipulate the monetary policies. Up until today, the most secure network is still Bitcoin. It's not the fastest, but it is the most secure. So if you want to transfer a large amount of your wealth, then for most people, Bitcoin is still the best solution. However, if you want to use it for small transactions or like day-to-day payments, then you could probably use Litecoin or Solana or Dogecoin, Dogecoin, which is a popular one today. And then also privacy is also an issue. So Bitcoin has some degree of privacy, which means that people can't track your transactions. This is for most people, we don't need to be very private about our transactions, right? But for some people, privacy is very critical. For example, journalists. Journalists who write news about corrupt governments, it's very dangerous for them. So they need to have privacy in their money so they can stay alive. And this actually has been a case where they use Bitcoin and this one, Monero. Monero is similar to Bitcoin, but it has better privacy. So there are some other cryptocurrencies that they less secure but faster. and perhaps not as fast, but more secure. And then there's one that's more private. So that's why there are many, many different versions, because anybody can actually build their own version of a Bitcoin. Smart contract platforms such as Ethereum is where it's similar like Bitcoin, but with Ethereum, you can actually create applications on top of it. So today, perhaps it's not a famous application yet, but in Ethereum, there are applications where we can deposit our money and then receive similar like a bank deposit, like a deposito on Ethereum, which uses what is called a smart contract. A smart contract basically means that everybody has to agree to that contract. So what that contract says, that's what we agree to, and nobody can change it along the way. If it says that I deposit money and then I get 5% every year, then that's what I get. Right? They can suddenly change it. Oh, we changed the policy midway, and now you only get 3%, something like that. So that's what a smart contract means. And there are many smart contract platforms also. And of course, utility tokens, which uses blockchain technology to create what is called decentralized applications. For example, perhaps nowadays we have YouTube where we watch videos, but if you're a YouTube content creator, you can make money from YouTube, but it depends on Google, right? Google can someday just decide that your account no longer qualifies to receive money, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, there are now decentralized applications that are similar to YouTube where you can upload your videos, but nobody has complete control. So nobody can censor what you can upload. Nobody can censor what you can watch. Nobody can suddenly erase your account. So things like that. And they usually use their own tokens. So they have their own internal economy. And of course, almost all of these cryptocurrencies are exchangeable with each other, which means that you can sell Litecoin to get Bitcoin, you can sell Solana to get Dash, and so on and so forth. You can sell your utility tokens, or you can sell your Bitcoin to get some utility tokens, smart contract platforms. It's a very, very large market nowadays with almost $2 trillion of valuation today. So you can move a lot of money in the cryptocurrency market. Now, some free money. I'm not talking about free money I'm giving to you, but there's a lot of free money to be made in crypto. So crypto, right? What is called airdrops. So if anybody has been here, you probably know what airdrop is. For example, there is a decentralized application called Uniswap that is on top of Ethereum. Uniswap is an exchange, which means we can go there and then we can buy other cryptocurrencies using Ethereum, right? So it's like a stock exchange, except it's decentralized, which means that you don't need to register, you don't need to give your identity, you don't need a deposit amount, there's no brokers, there's no broker fees, there's no opening or closing hours. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it never goes down. It's a decentralized exchange where you can do some swaps or exchanges. So at that time, Uniswap did not have their own utility token, but a lot of people used it to exchange some tokens in the last year. At the end of last year, Uniswap decided to create their own version of their token, right, called the Uni token. Any person who has ever used that Uniswap application received 400 Uni tokens in their wallet. They had to claim it. But if you ever used Uniswap before to do some exchanges, then you qualify to get at least 400 Uniswap tokens. Today, if you receive those tokens and you kept it in your wallet until today it's worth $12,000 or around 160 million IDR. That is free money. And airdrops like these happen a lot of times. That's because cryptocurrency is still a new sector. And in terms of technology, there is constantly new technologies being developed. There are new platforms to be used. And if you use those platforms, if you help to use those platforms, if you test them out and you help the developers, it's very often that you actually get some rewards in return. Sometimes they clearly state that if you try to perform it, you will get rewards. Sometimes they don't say it at all. So this one, the Uniswap airdrop, is a surprise for everyone. It's probably one of the most famous airdrops in the cryptocurrency sector because it's a relatively large amount, $12,000, and a lot of people got it. So if you want some free money, come check out the crypto applications. So that's one of part of the incentives to join the crypto economy is because since we're still relatively early, it's like perhaps being an early investor in internet, right? We can enter during the early days, and then we could probably get some very, very good rewards once the market becomes bigger. All right, so group discussion. What is the time? So we talked about, we talked about why Bitcoin is important. We also talked about for censorship receive the money, and we talked about what is Bitcoin using blockchain technology, and we talked about how to use it everyday lives, using the wallets and some exchanges and participating in the crypto economy. But basically what we're doing today is a glimpse of how money will be in the future. So for the group discussion, I would like you guys to discuss how we used money in the past, right? How do we use money in the past? Did we use money like today? Is it paper money? How do we use money today? Do we still use paper money? We also have digital money. And how will we use it in the future? So for the MC, how are we going to do the group discussion?
All right, for the FGD session, will last for 20 minutes, yeah. Because the participants is not too many. And then before the FGD starts, let me introduce our awesome facilitators. This FGD session will be led by 3 facilitators, yeah. The first one is Matt. Hi, Matt.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. And then Beverly. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Dick. Yes, I'm here.
Nice. And the last but not least is Anwar.
Hello, Dika. Hi, guys. I'm ready.
Okay, guys. This is the job description for FGD, yeah. The FGD session will last for 20 minutes, and after that, we have representative session. You do presentation after the FGD about your discussion in breakout room. See you in 20 minutes, guys.
See you in 20 minutes.
All right. There are 5 persons here.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Endy and Miss Renat. Miss Renat is Mr. Endy's wife, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And then after this FGD session, you will continue the material, right, Mr. Endy? A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I hope you can speed it up, yeah, because we still have a mini game session at the end of this class.
Okay.
And Moose, hi Moose. And I want to ask both of you, yeah, Mr. Endy and Mr. Renat, what year when you joined the committee?
2015.
2015.
2000. I joined Britzone first before Endy.
Oh, you first.
Yes. I joined it first before Endy.
In 2015, yeah.
2011.
Oh, 2011.
Yes, udah lama.
Oh, quite long. And who was the president at that time?
I joined Britzone in 2011 and joined the committee in 2013 until 2015.
Oh.
When I joined Britzone in 2011, it was led by, if I'm not mistaken, Tari Cipto.
Tari Cipto.
Yes.
Oh, Tari Cipto after Tari Potter ya. Tari Potter in 2010 and then Tari Cipto in 12. Who? 2012. Who was 2012?
2011 Tari Cipto and then Rina, Doni
2013.
2014.
And Z was the VP, right? Aziza? Z.
Oh yeah. Aziza and Rasha.
Rasha, yeah. I know him.
May I ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nora.
Okay, so I'm quite curious how you guys your first journey in funding or in finally deciding in investing Bitcoin, or have you tried any other investment or any other currency or yeah, something like that, and how is the journey in finding this one and until you settling in Bitcoin?
At first, I bought gold, and there's an author of a book about gold, and he mentioned about Bitcoin. And because I follow this person, so I decided to look into Bitcoin. But I didn't immediately buy it. However, the price kept increasing, so at least I bought a little bit. And once you buy a little bit, you become more interested in what you buy. Right? So I learned more about it and I started to see that it could potentially be the future of money. At 2017, it also coincided with a bullish market where almost every cryptocurrency went very high. That's why I decided to probably invest more at that time. And since that time, I've been in the cryptocurrency industry, learning about it and trying out whatever is new, like I shared in the slides. Of course, not everyone is comfortable because maybe the technological barrier, right? Such as using the web wallets, using the hardware wallets. If you try to move a large amount of money by yourself without the help of a bank, it's actually quite nervous because what if something wrong happens and you lose your money? So maybe that's going to be one of the difficult things that makes Bitcoin adoption a bit difficult.
I see. And Miss Renatu?
Hi.
Hi. So you also invest in Bitcoin as well as your husband?
Yes. Because fortunately, I'm the wife of a cryptocurrency investor, so automatically I get interested in the asset and interested in investing.
Actually, her mas kawin.
Oh yeah. That's an interesting story to tell.
For the mas kawin, we changed it into Bitcoin.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, during the wedding, it was still gold
US
and
dollar.
US dollar.
Yes.
After
Actually, I asked for US dollar, an amount in US dollar, but in a few months we changed the amount into Bitcoin.
And it has now skyrocketed.
Of course.
Wow, that's really great.
It has.
All right, so what else? Well, actually, I'm quite new in Bitcoin. I just learned something. I mean, I already put some investment, but really, really for a small amount because I don't really understand the what is it called, the fundamental thing. So
Oh,
yeah, maybe you
it's
guys can
okay.
share is.
I think it's a good start.
Mhm.
So do you guys think that Bitcoin has good fundamentals for the future, something like that?
What do you mean by fundamentals?
I don't know, just like the basic.
Foundation.
Because usually when 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 someone talks about fundamentals, it's like for a company, like for a company stock, what is their profit? What is uh, their plan in the future? What are the government policies that can affect the company's stock performance? We can say that as fundamentals. But if we're talking about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is like money, so you're like, what is the fundamental of gold other than the supply and the aspect where nobody can control it? But I think for the fundamentals of Bitcoin, uh, the primary the primary reason is that it's a global form of money that anyone can access at any time. Um, most people will use Bitcoin just for money. They won't use it for investment. They'll buy Bitcoin when they need, use it, and then probably convert it back to their local currency. But there are also a lot of, if you know, there are now countries that are starting by Bitcoin. Do you know?
Sorry, pardon me.
There are now countries that are starting to buy Bitcoin.
There are no countries that are starting to.
In the past, it was just individuals.
Oh.
In the past, it was just individuals. And then some companies started to buy Bitcoin. And now it's countries that are also starting to buy Bitcoin. So if the demand increases and the supply is the same, then usually the price increases. So in terms of investment, not only is it technologically secure, it's also potentially, it's more likely to rise than it is to go down.
I see. So even country has a lot of trust in the future of Bitcoin, right?
Not yet. Some countries do.
Oh, yeah.
Most countries don't. So because most countries still want to maintain control over their currency. So what we see today is countries that relatively have weak monetary controls, like the country is El Salvador, which is a small country, but because they have weak control over the currency, they are now starting to use Bitcoin as their national currency. It's an actual legal currency to be used over there. So we can expect like maybe Argentina, Venezuela, Iran, Turkey, Greece. I don't think America will be adopting Bitcoin anytime soon, or like England or Russia or even China, the big countries, because they will want to maintain monopoly over their currency. But for the smaller, weaker countries, it's very possible that they will start to adopt Bitcoin as a form of trying to get their financial independence back.
And just like what you have shared before, that it can actually save a nation from investing in Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens in Argentina is that people use Bitcoin to move their money out of the country. Because if you use the local currency, the bank will stop it, right? If you try to transfer it, the bank will just no, you can't do this, and you can't do anything. But with Bitcoin, well, the bank can do anything, the government can do anything, unless they invade your house, like, and say, "Give me your Bitcoin." Well, they can't really do anything.
That's really great. So how about Dika? Do you have any experience in Bitcoin too?
Not yet, but I have a plan to use Bitcoin as investment, yeah, because the value has always increased, right, Mr. Endy?
Sometimes it goes down.
What?
In 2017, it went from 20,000 to 3,000.
Why?
Well, for the reasons I don't know precisely why, because it's a market, and there are always bullish markets where the price goes up, and there are always bearish markets where the price goes down.
Bear versus bull.
Yeah, in 2017 it was 20,000, and it went all the way down to 3,000 in 2019. So there was about 3 years where the price went down. But now the price is going up.
I think one thing that any potential investor must understand first before investing their money into cryptocurrencies probably is the fact that these assets are very fluctuative.
What?
Cryptocurrencies are fluctuative.
Yeah, volatile.
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 Compared to stocks, usually in stock market, in Indonesian stock market, if the price goes up more than 30% or goes down more than 30%, it's automatically stopped, right? It's called auto reject. So it's either stopped at 30% or plus 30% or stopped at minus 30%. In cryptocurrency, it can go down 99% in a day and no one will stop it. Right? It can go all the way down and you lose all your money. Right? And it can also go 100% up and it just keeps going up like that. So and that's why it's very volatile. But for Bitcoin, it's one of the most stable nowadays. 30% move is very, very large. So if it goes up 30%, that's very large. If it goes down 30%, that's very large for Bitcoin. But for the other altcoins, the smaller ones, they could go whatever percent in a day and it still can happen.
I see. So, is it Bitcoin? What is it called? Influenced by the market, also like the economy, the global economy is also affected the Bitcoin.
Probably yes and no. Yes and no, because sometimes it's correlated with like gold. If gold goes up, Bitcoin goes up. If gold goes down, Bitcoin goes down. Sometimes it's not correlated. Sometimes Bitcoin moves on its own. Sometimes everything in the market goes down, like stocks go down, commodities go down, gold goes down, Bitcoin goes down. So I don't really say if the macroeconomics can influence Bitcoin, yes, but it doesn't always behave like we expect it to. Sometimes when everything is going down, Bitcoin can go up. But I want to share that right now, and I will share this in the slide later, but right now it's basically, it's anybody who has assets will get large profit because governments around the world are pumping money into the economy. And when they pump money, the first thing that rises is the price of assets like property, stocks, and commodities. It's actually been going on for quite a few years. The government printing money, and then rich people get richer, and poor people who don't have any assets experience inflation. So that's how rich people get richer, because they have assets, and poor people get poorer because they don't have assets, but they keep their money in currencies that lose purchasing power over time.
Like Robert Kiyosaki said, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called the cantillon
Rich dad, poor
effect.
dad.
Yeah, rich dad, poor dad. But it's not merely like accusing the government of, oh, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. It's we understand how it happens, right? When the government creates more money out of nowhere, they give it to the people closest to them, right? They give it to the tycoons, the
Taipan.
the Taipan.
Sultan.
They give it to Taipan. They give it to Sultan because it's a large amount of money, right? If they give it directly to the people, it becomes it's difficult to distribute. So they give it to the Taipan and the Sultan, and then they use it to buy assets. And then because the price of a house increases, so does everything else. The price of construction increases, the price of food increases, and then the normal people at the end, they just get the inflation without any profit from it. It's called the cantillon effect.
Yeah.
So the people closest to the one who makes the money are the ones who get rich first. That's how the rich get richer.
So basically, Bitcoin is some kinds of alternative solution for that. So they don't need to buy asset in some kinds of properties is really hard to reach.
Yeah.
For some people.
Well, since Bitcoin is transparent, nobody can simply create more Bitcoin and then give it to their friends, right? So everybody can monitor the Bitcoin. But because right now the global market is in a condition where basically the government is just printing money, so the price of Bitcoin will tag along, right? Because
just follow, yeah.
Yeah, it'll just follow. The price of property will rise, the price of stocks will rise, and the price of Bitcoin, since rich people also buy Bitcoin, it will also rise. So actually, it's not an ideal condition. I would say it's a bad condition, but it's going to happen anyway. So you can either ride along with it or not ride along with it.
Yeah. And what about if the value of Bitcoin goes down? Can we buy it for cheap price?
Yeah, of course, that's more difficult to do. It's not as easy as speaking about it, right? Trying to buy Bitcoin when it goes down, you think, oh, but what if it goes down even more? Right? What do I buy now? What do I buy later? That's what happens, because when it's like very high, oh, I will buy it when it's cheaper, but then it goes down and say, oh, but what if it goes down even more? And then you don't buy it anyway. That's the problem.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Endy. The FGD session is terminated. Yeah, the time is up. We are waiting for the participants to get back here and ready for the representative session. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Welcome back, guys. Ferry. Dwinanda, welcome back. Sorry, Mr. Endy, we are waiting for the participants. We have a representative session, and then we will continue the material. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Anwar, Danang. All right. Welcome back, guys. I want to call the representative from Matt's group. Hi, Matt.
Yes. Hi. Yeah, it was a fun discussion in my group. We have Sari, Hani, and Eko. Is it? Yeah, Eko, right? I'm sorry if I misspoken.
Eko.
Yeah. So we share our perspective about the topic. So for the representative, I'm going to call Kak Eko to represent our group. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kak Matt. Okay, it was very fun discussion. That's true, Kak Matt. Thank you so much for facilitating. So I also would like to give praise for today's topic from Kak Endy. I think it's a very good insight. Like people nowadays talking a lot about cryptocurrency, and today we get some insight, although maybe some still confused. And I also have one question. I think I will ask the question in this floor after this, but I will share what we discuss, because it's quite funny and interesting how we use money in our group. So actually, there are two girls, two women, Hani and Sari. They say they use their money for instead of paying for college fee, they buy women's stuff. So I think you're curious, right? Women's stuff. So I demand for an explanation. I think Sari explained like hijab, skincare, etc. Oh, okay then. And Kak Matt also share that nowadays we use more digital money. The very easiest example, like in Transjakarta, etc. So last, like I said in the beginning that I have a question. I think when we hold money, like conventional money, like rupiahs or maybe US dollar, you already understand where you're going to spend it. Like when you have US dollar, when you are going abroad, then you will exchange to US dollar or to the country's money. And when you arrive to the country, then you will spend with that money. So actually in your mind, you know exactly what you will do with the money. So actually I will put it into this word, the question. I wonder for cryptocurrency, because I don't do international deal or anything. So if someday I decide to have cryptocurrency, can I buy candies in Alfamart with that? So because I think that's the daily thing I do and I concern. So I don't want so if someday I have the money and then I cannot buy anything with it. So how actually it works? Where we can spend cryptocurrency? So that's I close this with that one question to Kak Endy.
Okay.
Thank you, Kak.
Okay, thank you, Eko. Mr. Endy, do you mind to answer Eko?
That is actually in the next slide.
All right, yeah. Okay, wait. Wait, Eko. We will finish up this representative session, and then Mr. Endy will continue the whole material, to answer your questions too.
Yes.
Once again, thank you, Eko and Matt's group. Let's jump to Beverly's group.
All right. Hi, Dick. Thank you so much for the change. Actually, we got really excited topic, and also we was grateful for our discussion today. And we consist of some members in here. We have Yasrain, Ferry, and Danny. And there will be a representative from Ferry.
Hi, Ferry.
What?
All right, your turn.
Okay.
Long time no see you, Ferry.
Okay, long time no see Dika and the others. Okay.
Open cam, please.
Wait. Okay. How is?
Yeah. I can see your face again after for
we always
before.
We always use money for something just like traveling or for fun and the others. But now for today and in the future, we try to managing our money with some investment, just like in the regular investment or cryptocurrency. And for me, I actually for now I always using my money for buying some stock and some cryptocurrency just like the and the others. And then what's the question? What's the other question?
Use money for past, today, and future.
Yep.
How we use money.
Yes.
For those periods of time.
Okay. How use money for now, for today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for today.
Oh, I think.
He freezes.
Yes. Unstable connection.
Okay.
Oh, no. He's come back.
Connection issues, I think.
Yeah. You like that. Maybe Beverly want to continue a little bit?
Actually, why I choose Ferry because he's good at crypto and really understand deeply about cryptocurrency and also digital world rather than us in the room. But I think that Danny and also Yasrin have different system how to manage their money effectively, such as for Yasrin, she prefer managing her money in conventional ways, such as saving in the banks, for example, or maybe by herself. And for Danny, he is go step further away from us because he already know how to manage his money in some properties as well as Ferry. All right, that's all for us.
Thank you, Beverly Groups and Ferry. Next, move to Anwar's group.
Yeah, hello Dika. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Well, our group consists of 3 participants. They are Danang, Dia, and Dwinanda. So I learned so much from them. Thank you guys. And I think Dwinanda know more about future money such as Bitcoin. So Kak Dwinanda, do you mind to share us about what we discussed about?
The King of Chuan. The stage is yours.
Yeah.
Well,
the Chuan King.
Okay, well, thank you. The topic today was really interesting. Yeah. Okay, I've just skipped my class to join this Britzone Saturday class. Yeah, because the topic is Bitcoin. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, I will share our group discussion. Yeah, how we use money in the past and the future. Yeah. Back then we use maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago or 10 years ago we use cash as daily transaction. But during this 4.0 industry, the transformation is going so fast. We start to reduce cash on paper, yeah, and maybe it's just and we basically using digital money like GoPay and digital wallet, yeah. And then we believe the cryptocurrency is the future of money. As we see, there's a major ecosystem in cryptocurrency. We see Bitcoin as a pioneer, and also we see altcoin and exchange swap, and we can see DeFi, derivative finance, like I forget the name. Weekend lending, and also there's a trend called NFT token. Maybe just share with you guys. There's a lot way. There's a few ways to invest in cryptocurrency. Based on my experience, I also got some coin from airdrop program, and it's quite good amount of money. With the coin that I got from airdrop, I can pay my tuition fee, my master program by using the airdrops. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nanda, the Cuan King. Yeah, hopefully,
Cuan King.
Yeah, the Bitcoin will increase your cuan. Yeah, he was the head of entrepreneurship division in Britzone Committee. Yeah, Nanda. Yeah, in the past it was called fundraising division. Thank you so much once again, Nanda and the Anwar's group. Now, Mr. Endy, you can continue the rest of your material. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Hold on. Thank you, everyone, for participating in the focus group discussion. Yep, that's right. In the past, we tends to use paper cash, right? And today, we're moving more and more towards digital. Right, so Mr. Coco asked, can we actually use currencies to buy candy in Alphamart? So this is related to the slide of what is the future of Bitcoin. In Indonesia, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is regulated by the Bapepti, which is the Badan Pengawas Perdagangan Berjangka dan Komoditi. That's because crypto assets are categorized as commodities, not as currency. In Indonesia, the legal currency is only Indonesian rupiah. You cannot use other currencies. You can't even use US dollar or gold or Chinese yuan or Japanese yen to do transactions in our country. So because the Bitcoin is regulated as commodities, we can freely buy and sell it and invest in it and trade in it and even do some futures exchanges, right? But we can't use it as money. So in Indonesia, we cannot use Bitcoin to buy candy at Alfamart, unfortunately. However, in the past, there were some instances because in Bali, because it's a relatively international community. At some point in the past, Bitcoin was used there for daily transactions. But then the government found out about it, and they closed it, right? Because it's not considered legal. That being said, in other countries such as Japan, we could use Bitcoin as money to buy things. In America, Bitcoin can be used to buy some things. It can be used to pay your taxes. I know in some states. In El Salvador, obviously, Bitcoin is now legal money that you can use to buy anything, and the merchants and the people are obliged to use it. So there are some countries in the world where we can actually use Bitcoin as money, but in Indonesia, it's not allowed. Maybe in the future, but I'm not too hopeful about it because the government still wants to only Indonesian rupiah as a legal currency. However, if you want to buy and hold it, use it in trading as a commodity, that's perfectly legal in our country. Because in some countries, Bitcoin is completely illegal. Right? Even if you just want to buy and hold it, you're not allowed. Fortunately, in our country, the government is very positive towards technology. And so that's why I want to say we're quite lucky to live here because we can buy and sell Bitcoin without any issues. Of course, if you want to use Bitcoin, you can. I usually use it for online shopping. There are a lot of stores now that accept Bitcoin other than Visa, MasterCard, your PayPal account. They also start to accept Bitcoin. So you can use it to buy some things online if you want to. Okay, yes, and also perhaps for some of you might have considerations about is Bitcoin halal or haram? Yeah. That tends to be a question that often pops up. I know that there are some controversial opinions that say Bitcoin is haram, but unfortunately they tend to only look at Bitcoin for a short time. Right? They don't really explain why it's haram. They don't really understand how the blockchain technology and how the properties of money. But I do want to also share that a lot of Muslim scholars that have examined Bitcoin say that Bitcoin shares the same principles with Sharia economy. Here's a paper if you want to read it, blossomfinance.com/Bitcoin. It gives the full explanation of why Bitcoin is in line with Islamic principles, including why it's money. It's actually more money than rupiah. So if you want to say Bitcoin is more halal than rupiah. So if rupiah is halal, then actually Bitcoin is very halal. So you guys can look at that if you want to. That is the future of Bitcoin in our country, and especially so moving forward. I myself am personally bullish on Bitcoin, which means I think that adoption will grow larger. More and more people will start to use it. More and more countries will start to use it. The price will go up as a response. Hopefully, people can go back to not experiencing inflation, where the money supply is controlled by everyone, not just by a certain group of people within the government. And that is why I say that right now we are living in extremely favorable conditions for generational wealth. Extremely lucky. If you know the internet.com bubble in 1999, anybody who bought any internet stock became rich, right? Because that was like, if you buy any internet stock at that time, everything went up. So a lot of people get rich. Unfortunately, a lot of people also then didn't sell, or they bought at the top and then it went down. But right now we're still in the conditions where we are heading toward that era where basically if you buy Bitcoin or buy any crypto, it's going to go up. It's really going up right now. And also I mentioned this in the private chat before, that the global economic condition is that the central banks around the world are pumping money into the economy. And when they print money, they give it to people who have assets. So now is probably the time to, if you want to, of course I have to say this is not financial advice, but it is what I'm personally doing, is to put aside some money into assets, whether it's stocks or commodities, whatever you feel comfortable with. Maybe it's Bitcoin. When the government pumps money into the economy, the first thing that rises is the price of assets like property and everything else. You could also just keep your money in fiat currency, but it will lose purchasing power over time, because due to the increase in the money supply, obviously the money that we have is going to decrease slowly in terms of purchasing power. And one way to protect that, again, is with Bitcoin, for our protection against inflation. Okay, so that's my presentation. I did wanted to do an airdrop, but I think there's a mini game session after this. So I will leave it to Mr. RMC, Dick. And if any of you have any questions, if there's any time, maybe we can do some questions afterwards.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Endy, for your awesome explanation about Bitcoin. Yeah, give it up, guys, by throwing applause account virtually. Then, Mr. Endy, do you mind to share your social media accounts if a lot of participants are interested to ask something about Bitcoin or investment or anything else? Do you mind to drop your social media accounts? Like on chat box is okay. Social media accounts. your Twitter or your IG? Nah, here it is ya. You can follow Mr. Endy's Twitter by @Endy Daniyanto, ENDYDANIYANTO. Yeah, you can follow his Twitter. Thank you so much once again for Mr. Endy for your sharing, and let's move to our mini game session. Do you mind to stop share? Sorry, Mr. Endy. Honey?
Yes.
Yeah. Where is the mini game session?
Okay, guys. Wait a minute. I will share screen. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. I have a trouble. We can share. What? What? Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, could you see my PowerPoint, I guess? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, honey.
okay. Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for joining this class. This is the last part of the class. This is a game. Okay, I will share. Okay. Nah. This game is, okay, welcome to Trivia Quiz. Yay!
Yay. Yay. I love this game.
Okay, I have 5 or 6 words, and then you have to find the synonym from this word. Okay, next. Okay. Okay. Maybe now do you want to try or another? Beverly, Coco, or
Mr. Conductor, you can join this game too.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coco, did you answer this? Okay. You have to match. Maybe okay. I give you an example. Okay. Couple. The synonym of couple is like this.
Hair.
Yeah.
Okay. And then okay. Coco, do you have Coco Bia? Okay, Bia. Do you want to try it? Yeah. You can get a lot of points.
Freedom.
Okay, Coco. Yeah. What?
Freedom.
Freedom with?
Liberty, freedom.
Okay, let's see. Freedom with liberty. Okay. Yes, of course. Thank you, Coco, for answering.
Yeah.
And then, wow.
Yasrin, raise hand.
Wait,
Okay.
Yasrin. Okay.
No, Yasrin, go.
Go, Yasrin.
Part and portion.
Okay, let's see. Is this true or not? Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yay. Part portion. Woo,
Yay.
Liberty.
Okay,
Winanda, raise hand.
wow.
Winanda.
Okay, Winanda. Yeah.
Hi, Nanda. Okay.
Good job, Yasrin.
Habit and custom.
Okay, custom with
Habit.
habit. Okay, let's see. Yes, of course.
Yay.
That's
Habit custom. Wow. Okay.
Imagination with. Okay, Sari, can you answer it?
Okay, honey. Imagination is similar with fancy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for joining this
Amazing,
class today.
honey.
Okay. And
Okay,
you can
thank
get
you.
a lot of Bitcoin after that, and you can you can ask Sari maybe.
Honey, can I get Bitcoin for free?
You can ask the conductor.
Oh,
Okay, let me
yeah.
ask. Let me ask. Let me ask.
Yeah. Ask Mr. Endy.
Let me do.
Okay, thank you guys for joining this class, and then back to MC.
All right. Thank you, Hani, for presenting the mini game session, the trivia. Now, don't leave, guys, because we will have a photo session. Please open up your camera, yeah, guys. Your pretty face will be posted in our Instagram forever. Yeah. Matt, open cam, please. Yuhu. Winanda.
Yep.
All right. Sari, do you mind to take our picture?
Of course, let me do. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Alhamdulillah. Good. Wow. I love this topic. It's about Bitcoin for future. Let's take your picture. I'm going to count until 1,000. 1, 2, 3, go. Give the best post about Bitcoin today. Okay. Okay. Well, Kakak Endy, do you have such another post?
Maybe by forming B.
What is that? This one. B. Which one? I don't understand about Bitcoin actually. This one here. D.
Like
D.
this, right?
Okay,
D?
let's see here. D.
Yeah.
Okay.
B.
Delta. Bravo.
Oh, D. Oh, B. Bravo.
B. Bravo.
Yeah.
Okay.
B for
Bravo.
Bitcoin.
I just wanna say bravo and you just give me the post.
This
1, 2,
design,
3,
yeah.
4. Bravo. Bravo.
Bravo.
Design.
Yeah.
Okay, one
B.
more. Okay. Delta. Okay, I got another post. Okay, difficult for me to take. Thank you, everyone. Done.
Thank you. Thank you, Sari. Thank you, everyone. For
Thank you so much.
Yeah, conductor and
Thank you, guys.
Pleasure, Karina.
Thank
please
you.
stay,
Thank
yeah.
you, Kak Endy and Kak
Facilitator,
Rena.
please stay.
Yeah, Dika. Many thanks to Dika.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Kak
you
Danang.
for joining
Thank you, Kak
us.
Ferry. Okay, who is getting Bitcoin and share to me?
Yeah. Thank you, Koko.
Thank you Kak Dika.
Thank you, Kak Koko, for having us.
thank
Okay,
you.
Kak Andy. Okay, thank you.
The Fasil and conductor stay, yeah, please.